Good morning. Welcome, welcome. As you can see, we're a little bit late. Sorry about that. We are now live, so good morning. Mark will be with us in a few seconds. We were just going over a few things, but you should be able to, if you're not there, or you were there, had to come back in probably. So there we go. So good morning. If you would just put in the chat box, you can hear me, it'd be great. We'll just, this is Joe, so we'll just go from there, and we can begin here. There we go. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Joe. How you doing?
Good morning. We were having some challenges, I was saying. We were just chatting a little bit before. But we're good. We're good to go. And I guess, let me just check the chat box a minute because I have it all squared away. I just want to see if there's any messages. Good morning. Yep, you can hear us, right? So you'll type in, yes, you can hear us, Max, okay? If you can, please. Still don't see a response. Yes, we can hear you. Can you do it? Can hear you. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it. Okay. Anyway, I'll turn it over to you for a little bit, Mark. I want to talk about a couple things, but can you hear me, Mark?
Yeah. Hold on a minute. I'm trying to get Victor in.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm trying to get Victor in. Okay, so Vic should probably join us in a minute. I just sent something to him. Okay, good morning, Breakfast Club family. See, everybody's starting to chime in. We're at what? We're at the first of the week. Well, at least for some of us anyway. Hope you had a great day yesterday. And looking for a great day today. Got some good things for you, and we're headed into the future. I've already listened to the presentation this morning. That's sort of like how I'm starting my mornings now, because I can't ask you to do something that I'm not doing. And I find it very refreshing when I do that. I get excited. It helps get my day started. So now I started with the presentation because I want to know it like the back of my hand, so if somebody asks me a question, I can give them a proper answer. So with this being the 14th day of February.
13th, yes, tomorrow. This is the great lucky day of life, Friday the 13th.
Oh, it's the 13th. I thought it was the 14th.
Well, you better have gotten your wife that Valentine present if today's the 14th.
Well, guess what, Joe? With my wife, every day is Valentine's Day. Every day. Yes, indeed. With an angel like that, every day is Valentine's Day, and I let her know it. So, anywho, we got some things we need to talk about, and again, like I said, I'm now starting my day with the presentation because it's going to be so second nature to me, Joe, that somebody can ask me and I might not be thinking of it, and I'll come right out with the answer to it, which is a great way to be. You have to know you have to know your product, you have to know your system, you have to know your communication, you have to know everything to run a business properly. Because if you don't do that, that's like one of the second things that businesses fail on in 18 months. Mismanagement. Wow, you know how to manage what you have. We have to know that. We need to know that. And that's what we're trying to get over to everybody, that we're going to manage our business like professionals. And, you know, in the next year, it is going to knock us off our feet as to where we are from now, from today. So I hope everybody is in that mode of thinking, and I hope they're saying to themselves, you know what? I'm not going to do this because of somebody else, but I'm going to do it in spite of them. I'm going to do it because it's me. I'm a professional. I'm in business, and I'm going to grow my business. And I'm going to grow other businesses, because If I don't have another one that I'm working with, then I really don't have a business either. Just like you say, you don't have a recruit until your recruit has one. Well, guess what? You don't have a business until your business has one. Same thing. Just think about it. And then the other thing, you know what? The world, the country, everybody's real tight. Everybody needs to loosen up. Loosen up and have some fun. You know, I mean, we all make mistakes and we'll continue to make mistakes. But guess what? It's not if you make a mistake, it's if you know how to correct it. And then once you correct it, you don't make it again. And then it keeps other people from making mistakes. Say, don't do this because I did this and this is what happened. You don't want to do that. As I said, this is how I work. This is how we work. You know, I'm telling you, communication is very, very important to be a connector. And if you don't connect with your audience, if you don't connect with people, the interested party, if you don't connect with them, you'll lose them. And we don't want to lose anybody. We want to get as many as we can to help them get out of the rut that they're in. And if you're instrumental in doing that, you can smile, you can sleep better, and guess what? You even get paid for it. How about getting paid for making a loving instead of making a living? How about that? Think about that. Make a loving instead of making a living. Because if you make a loving, it's going to enhance your living so much that, ooh, you'll be shaking your head. Oh my goodness, is this going to stop? Do I need to pinch myself to wake up or what? Am I in a dream? Try that. Make a loving instead of a living. That's what I find very refreshing. Smile at somebody. It's amazing what a smile will do. A smile, believe it or not, will make a person ask you, well, what are you so happy about? What are you smiling about? Well, guess what? I work from home in my pajamas. Have you ever had a business working from home, a successful business working from home? Well, no. And guess what? You can go from there. What did you learn in the communication class? Well, then you ask them, how do you see the next 5 years? In other words, if your next 5 years were like your last 5 years, do you see yourself getting ahead or behind? Those are, I mean, you see what I'm saying, Joe, how easy it is to get into that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just learn it. So with that, I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Well, good morning. And let's cover a few things here. And then number one is, as you can all see if you have been to your website. Let me explain a few things and we'll move on to the topic. But the website, the funnel, the entire system is now complete. Here's the difference. What we wanted, after discussing this with a number of people, we made the decision months ago that we were going to have, well, not months, but when we opened up the funnel and asked people for information in order to see the presentation, as you know, if you've been in the system, that you were getting people to open your emails. If you had a way of tracking that, we do. With using the USA Lead Club, they track the percentage of people that open it, the number and the percentage. So we knew people were opening the email. That told us that the subject lines encouraged them, and at a good rate, people were opening up that email. They tracked that. What we were not getting are people clicking onto, in the letter, when it said, look at the company overview. Well, actually, we don't know if they were clicking it on. We did not know that because there's no counter that told us that they were actually going forward by clicking the company overview. What we did know is the number of people filling it out when they got there, although we don't really know who went there. We know that for the email purposes, they weren't clicking that on at the rate we wanted them to, very low. So we made the assumption that, and I'll bet I can't get one person on here to say, tell me, put it in the chat box, are you when you get an email that asks you to give information before you have any of their information or even know what you're doing, are you more likely, or do you have their name, email address, and so on, phone number, without knowing what it is? How many people like that idea? And while you're doing that and putting in there, remember that our Friends and Family website allows you to go and look at a 3-minute video without giving us any information. We don't know if you did it. We do know. I mean, we don't know who it is. We do know people do it. We don't know who that is. So what I'm saying is we give them that opportunity for 3 or 4 minutes to look at something, and then if you want to know more, you fill it out and you can go to the second page. And by the way, don't neglect going to the second page of the Friends and Family website. There are categories back there that you should be studying. What is gold, how it works, and company information. You really need to do that regularly as well, because that's what you should have open when you call someone back. You should have that page open, taking a look at the information that's there. So you should study that. My point is, we give them the opportunity to listen to a few minutes of the Friends and Family and what the company's about and what business you're in. So we decided to do that here since we weren't getting the open rate we wanted. Mark, are you still hearing me? For some reason, it looks like my computer's doing an update again. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
All right. So now I realize that this video, when they watch it, is 35 minutes. I do know that. And will they do it? I've been over that with many people asking that question, including Jennifer. Will people watch? She goes, if it's interesting, they will watch it. And I've seen your presentation so many times, you know, that I would watch that. I like the beginning. I like the way it goes. It keeps me engaged, okay? A great presentation. I don't think so, because it's different than everybody else's, but it addresses the human element of it, not just let's get rich buying gold and here's how you do it. So we decided to allow a person to come in and see that presentation without giving us anything but their first name and an email optional. Unfortunately, what we discovered the other night when we actually tested it, we put a fake email in there, which didn't give us a true reading, because we didn't know that by not putting it in there, it wouldn't allow us to go forward without what we saw yesterday, the last name. It was just asking us to put that field in there. The program at Tools Rock is written when they go to a capture page. That's the purpose of it. It's a capture page, and it's required that you put at least that email in there to capture the information. And that's what it's designed for. The software is written like that. So when we tried to remove the Jennifer and I were on the phone with the Philippines, with the programmers, till the wee hours of the morning, rewriting the program on that page so that they wouldn't have to do anything except go to the company overview. We couldn't just remove the fields unless we rewrote the code for it. So we had them take out the fields out of the code and redo things, and so what we end up with is, as you can see, a person can come in and do exactly what we said without even giving us a first name. That doesn't give us anything anyway. We just didn't realize by putting that like that it wouldn't go forward. No one's ever requested this before, so I guess we're breaking new ground also, Mark, in this area, causing them to rethink this. She said she's going to recommend stuff like this to people to get them to see stuff first. So now they have the code, they have it set up so they can do this now, and people can just click that company overview on. So if you notice, we rewrote a little bit of the words that says just click on the button below for a company overview, and therefore they don't have to put their name in. So now they can go forward right there. In fact, they could actually schedule an interview by clicking the interview button, because that's on every page now. Of course, we don't want to. That brings me to the point of when you call someone back, you need to ask them, have they watched the entire interview or just a portion? You need to get that in your scripts, because you could easily have somebody halfway through and schedule an interview because they didn't have enough time to watch it, or maybe they did it right away. Doesn't make any sense to me, but people will do that. So make sure you incorporate that into some script. So now that we know that they don't have to fill out information, which is what we wanted in the first place, there's really even the threat of capturing information is really taken away now, because they don't even have to put their first name in. They just have to click that button. It will immediately take them to the presentation, which now has a slide on it so they can fast forward if they really wanted to, and the purpose of that is so that if they come back to it, they can go to where they left off. That's why we put it on there. I think Paulette suggested that, and we took her advice on that, which is great. We were able now to do that and move forward. So what you need to do with your funnel is to go to that second page, fill out the schedule interview page, make sure, especially if you are in ToolsRock, that you do not put the email address that you are registered with at ToolsRock, where you receive information. So when I filled mine out, I just put joe@joe.com. I don't get the follow-up letters by doing that because I don't have a joe@joe.com. But I see the invitation letters going out. Well, let's put it this way. I know that I got an email back actually that showed me and thanked me, showed me that someone filled it out, that joe@joe.com filled this out and so on. But you need to do that so you can track the follow-up letters and make sure that the follow-up letters, I put joe@joe.com, so once again, I'm not going to get those follow-ups. So use a different email address that's legitimate. Create one if you don't have one, so you see those letters come in, the follow-up letters. You will see them come in, and are they coming in at the rate that we asked them to in the back office? What you can't see are the follow-up letters in your back office. You can see the invitation, so you don't need to see those, but I am going to take the follow-up letters and I'm going to post them in the training room so that you can see them, and then you can check the incoming follow-up letters against the back office and make sure they're coming in when they're supposed to and saying what they're supposed to do. Now, there's some minor changes we have to make to those letters, so we'll deal with that later. So we're updated. Everything is in place. The page, when the video is done, in other words, when I get done speaking and say, thank you and good luck, that goes to a page that says for more information and to schedule a follow-up interview, click on the button below. So they'll do that, a page pops up, and when they do that, they'll get the form that asks for 4 pieces of information: name, first, last, email, phone, and submit it. And at that point, a thank you page comes up for their interest, and that you'll get back to them within 24 to 4, or get back to them soon. I don't know exactly what it says, but it's there. But let me make a recommendation. I would not start up your autoresponder today. In other words, don't go putting your emails in today. It's Friday. This is not a good day to send out and do marketing for next week. They're going to get lost. Your emails will get lost. So I would suggest that you wait till either Sunday night or Monday morning. The best day to send them is Tuesday, but start it up on Monday morning, early Monday morning, and start the campaign. And in the meantime, go in and check the system and make sure it's running right. I am very excited the way it looks. I'm going to go to Victor for a minute. Victor, can you hear me?
Again.
You're in a tunnel, it sounds like.
Yeah, the fan's running on this computer, sorry.
You're good. I just want to ask you a couple of questions. Did you open up yours today as you did yesterday, or?
Oh, I did, absolutely. Yeah, it's great.
Okay, so when you open up your front page, do you see the capture page, or do you have to scroll?
Let me open it again because I had it here just a minute ago.
So my point is this. Every computer, depending on the size of your screen or how you have your pixels set or whether you have it zoomed in or zoomed out, is going to determine what you put on your page. On my end, the entire thing is in front of me. And I can everything I need to see. I don't have to scroll. So if you
Right.
to scroll, it's not a big deal, and you want to see that in one full page. Either check your zoom, check your pixels, do what you need to do to make it right. And go ahead and mute your microphone, Victor. You can come back in when you pull it up.
Yeah, it's up. Yeah, everything is full screen. I can see everything.
You can see everything. Okay, what size is your screen?
Oh, I have a 19-inch monitor.
Yeah, yeah. See, the smaller screens you're going to have to slide to see them. So if you're looking at a laptop with a 13-inch screen, chances are you're not going to see that full screen like Victor and I are seeing. So that's okay, but I just want you to know that it is there. And so the front page now, Victor, as you can see, has the company overview. It is very, I mean, to me, I would look at that seriously. If somebody sent that professional look to me, I will be in touch with you. Wally's I will be in touch with you 24. Yeah, it says I'll be in touch with you 24 to 48 hours. It actually tells you on the bottom to allow 24 to 48 hours. I will give my info. If there's an inch, I give my info to get more. If they give nothing, I give them nothing. Yeah, so this is designed. Look, I'm going to read something to you in a second here, but this is designed to get rid of the tire kickers. It's designed to find the interested party, right? Isn't that what we're doing? By now, most of you or all of you in this stage of your career should be sick and tired of seeing people come to your business that don't do anything. The reason for that is our fault. It's not theirs. It's our fault at these companies because they don't provide the real information these people need to succeed. It's not about learning about gold or your product or juice, vitamins. That's not what this is about. That you can learn on your own. That is not work time. That's your educational time. This isn't work time today. We need to understand that we're looking for one person at a time. That's it. We're not massively trying to put them all in, having 30 people come in and hope that 2 of them buy a package. We're not doing that here. That may happen if you put it out there in enough places. This particular thing right here, what we're talking about today with the USA Leads, is just an email program. There are plenty of ways to get your name out into the marketplace, get your information out there. In other words, to market it. And we're going to have Victor back on to be talking about a number of things. We have a bunch of guests next week to come in to talk about this issue on how to get to social media. And most of us need to learn that because we need to have different avenues. Walmart doesn't just send me an email. They have signs everywhere. They send papers out and so on. So we need to be good at our business. We can't just sit there and hope the email system will work. We designed this presentation so that people we knew who were interested in really learning how to manage would be able to do it. And we have enough information in there to show them we're not just interested in selling gold. We are interested, certainly, in creating transactions, because that's how we get paid, in direct proportion to the effort we put forth. The effort we put forth will turn into transactions. It's just that you have to learn the right way to do it, which is why we have the class. This took us a year to put all the elements in place. The language and the communication, the websites, the funnels, the language, the presentation. Just what Robert Kiyosaki says. I mean, we shouldn't, it's a shame we had to take it, this long to do this, but it wasn't in place. What's in place is, if you go to all the chat rooms, is everybody talking about gold, basically. New programs and new ways to do it, and make sure people, hey, that's wonderful. Everybody knows about gold in my book. Anybody in their right mind would say, I'd love to have gold. What we need is what Robert Kiyosaki says. Cash doesn't make you rich or doesn't make you money. It is business practices. It's business tactics. It's being a professional in business that's going to make you rich or get you to where you want to go. You have to learn business, and that's what most people in this industry do not know. I know that. I was on both ends of this. I owned my own business for 18 years, brick and mortar. So that ought to tell you that, I had to learn that as a new business owner when I was in my early 20s. I had to learn how to run a business. I had no clue. Even though I had gone to college for marketing, that didn't do anything for me, except learn how to market. But I didn't know how to run the business until I went to business school. I went to an academy in Van Nuys, California, to understand what I was doing in this business. And that's what we're trying to teach you here. This book I mentioned yesterday, Copycat Marketing 101, we left off yesterday with something. Let me conclude this particular introduction. And here's what it says. This is what we need to understand. Think of this in your business and what we're doing at AdTech, the purpose of it all. And that's what it's saying, the purpose of the book. So relate that to what we're saying. See if it sounds familiar. Suppose you had the opportunity to become a 5%er, and that's the top income earners, right? Would you take advantage of it? I sincerely hope the answer to that question is yes, because that's what this book is all about. In the coming pages, you will learn that the secret to financial freedom is knowing which doors to open. Copycat Marketing 101 will make you aware that most people are 95%ers because they've been taught to copy people who are opening doors that lead to salary caps, dead-end jobs, and financial dependence. In short, most people are copycatting the wrong plan. In this book, you will learn that the current system most people copycat is designed to create temporary income, not true wealth. The current system meaning what you have been taught, right? It's designed for temporary income, which, as you know, that's probably where you are. Because it is based on linear growth of trading time for dollars. You've heard that before. You will learn that the key to true wealth creation is leverage. And you will learn about a dynamic form of leverage that wealthy people have been copying for centuries called exponential growth. You've heard that before. People talk about that in these companies, but they really don't give you the right thing to copy. That's my opinion. I've watched it. You will learn that the secret to wealth creation is available to virtually everybody, including people like you and me, because it's based on something that we already know how to do well, copycatting. Best of all, you will learn how average people can break out of the time for money trap by copycatting a simple, duplicable system of wealth creation that will open the door to financial freedom once and for all. That's the end of the introduction. The next page is Chapter 1, We Live in a World of Copycats. Here's what it says by James Baldwin, the author. You ought to know who that is. Children have never been very good at listening to their elders, but they have never failed to imitate them. The reason we exist here is so that you copycat the right thing, finally. And I don't care where you are, if you're not making money right now and you're trying to get ahead and looking for the secret, you are the group. Not just here today, because a lot of people can't look at the Breakfast Club because of their other commitments. But we have had people come and go here, go through the class and go, tell me how wonderful it is, and send testimonials, but yet slide back into their old habits. I watch it. I see them on other chat rooms, and I see them asking questions that blows me away in there after they've been through the class, after saying, oh my gosh, this changed my life. Back to these chat rooms, settling in with the people who are still talking about getting rich with gold. I don't see any chats about running a business. Nowhere. I see things being taught about, like I said, picking up the phone and just getting them over to a three-way. I saw something yesterday about, somebody saying, get the three-ways over. Yeah. It's the same person who, when I three-wayed people to them, they actually took those people. So maybe you'll go looking for that, see who it was. It's crazy. People need to understand how to operate their business successfully. And it all starts with you learning your communication, who you are, and mapping out your plan. If you've forgotten that, take the time. This is the start of the week for next week to get ready to push out your information and to get this presentation, get this system out there rolling, at least in the email part of it. Get your link out on the social networks. There's a couple of people here that can't even catch up because they have so many people going through their funnels. I want to say this to you. I'm going to talk. Mark, is your mic open?
Yes, it's open now.
Okay, good. Let's have a little chat. Here's what I want to do. We know that the true way to get duplication is to have a system. I am a very big fan of pizza. I love pizza. You know why? I grew up as a child near Philadelphia. I was born in Philadelphia. And then as a 2-year-old moved out to the suburbs outside of Philadelphia. But there's a company, and Mark and I are going to actually see this when we go there next month. And it's called Mara's Pizza. It's actually in the heart of the Italian market right around the corner. And they also had other locations. And because I lived out in the suburbs, there was a location out there. And we had a very large baseball organization, Mark. And when we did well, my dad, who was a manager in there, and other adults would take the kids over for pizza. And this is the pizza that you see in the presentation. That picture of that piece of pizza is what I grew up with. That's how they looked. That's how they look today. If you go to the right place in Philadelphia or New Jersey there, the people that were, who have pizza shops there, those people who were from the old days make their pizzas like that. Now, that's what I'm a fan of. So let me just say this, and I don't mean to belittle any company at all, but I'm going to show you a point. I have had pizza from Pizza Hut. Well, they call that pizza in the marketing world. That is not the pizza I grew up with. It's not even close. It doesn't, taste the same, look the same. It doesn't crunch the same way. I have had pizza from Papa John's. They cook theirs on a conveyor belt, which you would never, ever, ever see done in Philadelphia like that. Of course, unless you owned one of those franchises. They were designed to be on a hot stone to cook at 500 to 700 degrees to get that crispiness, to get that flavor. My point is, those two companies I mentioned, Papa John's and Pizza Hut, are extremely successful, whether I like their pizza or not. I won't eat that pizza because to me it's not pizza. It doesn't taste the way I want it to taste. It doesn't even look like I want it to look. I won't eat that pizza. However, they are extremely successful. There's one reason why they are. It is one simple word that describes it. Let's see if you can put it in the chat box and describe why they have success. But I can't knock them. I can't tell you that Denny's or those types of family restaurants, they're not my favorite places to go to. Maybe in a pinch I would have breakfast. But to go to dinner to those places, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a better place to go. But guess what? They couldn't care less about me. I am not their interested party. That's not who they're marketing to. They're not trying to turn me around with their advertising. What they're doing is finding the interested parties. But do you know why Denny's is successful? Do you know why IHOP is successful? They all have one thing in common. Anybody know? Andrea, that's true. It's looking for a word that matches up with that. There's a reason for that duplication. But that's, I know that you're thinking that line. Andrea is on here. Andrea Hanfus is here, and she's been to this class so many times. I am so excited. I would do anything to help her build her business. The times that she showed how much she wants to succeed. She participates. She has helped other people. Not even in her downline. She volunteers. She raises her hand. She's the true person who says, I want to help. When you get the right answer up here, you will hear it. I'm going to say it in a minute if you don't type it in there, but let's see if we can get some more answers. I have duplication, copycat marketing, or just marketing. I got the answer. And here comes another one with Robert and Andre. Fortunately, one's in our downline and one is in your downline, Victor. Well, the answer is, let me read Andre. System, all the same way. Robert Frank, it's always the same, no matter where you go. Remember I talked about car washes, why they're successful? Because they have a system. You start out at a certain point, and you end up at a certain point. You cannot manage the result. You can only manage the activity. That's your job. Consistency. There we go. We're getting the answers now. Consistency. System, Andrea said. Yes, there is a system, and that's exactly what we're trying to show you here. And I don't mean just there's things out there, grab what you want. The reason we talk about scripts in the communication class that sounds like, okay, I kid about it and say, yeah, this isn't a democracy, it's a dictatorship. Say exactly what we say. Why? Because it's a system. If you don't do that, if you say, do you know anybody that would be interested in a career change? That's not part of the system. Who do you know that would be interested in a career change for the right money? Is part of the system. The other one's not. Doesn't make any difference. If you do that and make and change those words for those answers, then you're not going to get duplication. You don't bring a car into a car wash and put them off to the side or turn the water off at a certain point because you think it maybe the soap is not off or is all the way off. You don't change the system. You'll leave soap on the back of the car if you do that. It's not the same thing. Denny's doesn't change. Pizza Hut doesn't change. Papa John has the absolute perfect way to make pizza. Although I am not happy with it, it's the way they do it. You know what it is? It's all timed. You walk in the door, you say hello, ba ba ba, you get your thing, you place your order. When that order goes in, that person has done exactly the same thing they did for the pizza before. And guess what? It goes into an oven. They figured out they're not going to put human error into this by cooking it, because anybody could forget the pizza was in, or maybe that stone over there is a little too hot. They get exactly the same pizza every time. Why? They put it on the conveyor belt. It runs through at a certain temperature at a certain time. It comes out the other end. Here's the problem with it. They can't put it back in for crispier, I like it harder, because it goes in one way and comes out the same way. That's it. Every time. If you like that, that's great. But obviously, many, many people do. But do you know what they do? They market this properly. They put the information out in front of you. If you watch sports, you cannot help knowing that Peyton Manning and Joe Montana are part of Papa John's. You can't help it. I think of Papa John's now. I think of Peyton Manning. Those cute little commercials they have. It doesn't make me run out and get their pizza, but it does other people. If you weren't born in that New York, Philadelphia mindset of what pizza looks like and so on, that picture that we show in the presentation, then you're happy with this kind of stuff. It's okay. And that's their audience. I'm not their audience. I think they're cute. I think of Papa John's. I think of Peyton. I think of Peyton. I think of Papa John. They made me do that because they put the information in front of me enough. I have seen that one commercial at least 100 times. It's embedded in my brain, and that was the purpose of it, was to put it in the minds of the people who were interested, find the interested parties. It's exactly what they did. That's why we repeat our message on our follow-up emails, our invitation emails. We keep talking about the same thing. Want to speak to you about managing a business from home. We're still looking for qualified people. We're still on our mission, looking for quality. We keep that same message up all the time. The other stuff will come about gold, and let them go in. Because why? Because you learn all of that in the training. We have a management training program where you will learn all of that. That's the answer to a lot of your questions that come up during dialogue. That's how you, as the manager or director in training, stay away from being the manager, the know-it-all. Certainly, great. You'll learn that in training. You have to duplicate that system, the communication system, the marketing system. That's what you must duplicate. And in order to do that, you should write down what your system is. What is the system that we teach? You know, right from the beginning, from the time a person comes in the door, what do they learn? I promise you right now, Robert Frank told me the other day that when you go to work, to the companies that he has gone to work with and for, that you went into a 2-week program to learn what? The system. I can't stress this enough, and I know all of you have heard this before. I know that you say, okay, you're talking about it again. That's what systems do, right? This is our system of repeating the same message over and over again. And that is, follow this system. If you do this, it's time now, since we have this together, it's time now to go find out what the system is about, and don't be discouraged because 100 people got your email and nobody even opened up and went to the presentation. It's going to take numbers. Papa John's is not getting me, and you're not going to get all those people. If you can get 15 people to open your emails and you do that consistently, you're going to get people to talk to. If on a regular basis, every day, 15 to 30 people open up your email, you're going to get people who are going to click through to the company overview. They're going to listen. They may stop right there and stop the thing and go back later because they're going to get another email. They're going to keep getting invitations invitation emails until they fill out the form, and when they fill out the form, it's going to kick another 10 or 15 in and start telling them more and more and more. That's the system. That's what Papa John's does. The first part is I have to turn on my TV to see that ad. I have to do that. They can't control that. I have to be on the right channel when that thing comes up, and I have to be an interested party in order to go out there and buy their pizza. Look at the numbers that they have to do to get their client. That's what we have to do, and that's what you have to understand. Our system is a business management system, and it may take you some time to understand it. That's why some of the people run away. They want more out of this quicker, and you know what? They are going to end up right where they started. Remember, be careful of the direction that you're going. You might end up where you're headed. You might be opening the wrong doors and heading back out on Park Avenue, as we read yesterday. So, Mark, I am going to be just constantly talking about, as you know, the system. Mark has a system. He gets up every day before the Breakfast Club, and he watches the presentation. It's part of his system. Now, there may be a time when he stops that, maybe, because it's in his bed. He can probably say it in his sleep now, word for word almost. So we're ready to go. So I want to welcome you to the new week. If you don't have the Tools Rock system, you can't use, and we're not trying to sell the system. That's not the, it's not another business for us. It's just that we worked with the people who can help us and who can, help us get to the place we want to go. This is where we wanted to go. We wanted a business presentation. We got it. We wanted a marketing system that created activity. We got it. We just had to get ourselves ready for it. We're ready. And you should be ready now. You should be ready to move forward. You should be ready to send the information out. If you've been through the class, you know who you are now. When you pick up that phone, you're not the manager. You're in training now. And you're going to actually put that person on the phone with a three-way call. And you're going to get that person to, find out if they're interested in moving forward and are we interested in them. And do that on a consistent basis. You do, some of the things they're teaching out there are true. You got to have so many of those, phone calls every day to get that person you're looking for. So follow it. Write down today, without looking at any notes, what is this system? What is the system? That's what you really need to know. You need to know it backward and forward, starting from registration all the way down to making the phone call to the director. What are the steps? That's the system, the steps to the process. So I'm going to turn it back to you, Mark, and we will continue this copycat marketing. I encourage you to get that book. It's a tiny little book that teaches you wealth creation. It's not going to give you scripts. It's going to give you the mindset of being a copycat. We all do that. I have copied every single thing that I know in this industry, from the scripts all the way down to the presentation. I copied them. That's how I learned it. And that's what we all do. We're copycats. Why don't we learn how to do it right? So thanks for listening today, and let's get our week started, and let's get results next week by getting the activity. You can't manage that result, but if you have the activity, as time goes on, you will see what's going to happen. Let's follow the system, activate the system, and keep moving through it. You will find the people you want, and you will create the duplication if you have the system in place. What did Safford always say? Be part of a system whereby recruiting never stops. We are at that stage now where you can do it. Have a fun day, everybody. Over to you, bud.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Let me say a couple things right quick about the ad tech business presentation. And another thing, too, it's about education. We live in a different world now, and everybody now is trying to get educated because they don't know which way they're going. And here's the thing. Why do people go to movies? Why do they like movies? What does a movie do? It tells a story. It takes you on a journey. Why do they like good books? Why do they read books? It takes you on a journey. It takes you somewhere. And our presentation is designed that way. It takes you on a journey, and then what it does, it takes you, from way back when up to now, and then it teaches you how to get your financial house in order. Think about what I'm saying. Think about those things. And if you understand that, and you know what people need because it's in the presentation, and you have the education, and you have the wherewithal, the tools and everything like that to fulfill what they need, that will grow your business. And everything is in place now. No excuses. And like you say, Joe, all you have to do is go to WORK to work. It's that simple.
Take a look at what, I'm going to open this up. Take a look at what Robert Frank put up there, everybody. I think that's pretty cool. This is a guy that understands marketing. I love the last sentence. See the USA in your Chevrolet. If you understand that commercial, that's what he's saying. They put that in our head so much when we were growing up. Nobody's forgotten it.
No, that was the Dinah Shore show, and that was a commercial every time.
You can remember that. Holy mackerel.
Yeah, I remember that when I was a kid. Yes, indeed.
We asked everybody today, all the slogans that were out there as a kid, you probably remember most of them. They put it in front of us so many times, and that's what you need to do here, put the right information. And to me, the information is we're looking for qualified or interested people that want to really learn how to manage a business, and that's our battle cry. That's our Chevrolet.
And, Joe, as you said earlier when you was talking about Papa John, Peyton Manning has 20 locations that all do the same thing. Now imagine if we pull together and we work this system with the education that we have, we can have 20 locations too. But guess what? It won't be blue locations. It'll be the black locations and the gold locations like that. That's where we want to go.
Yep.
Think about that. So, anything else before I close out?
No, we're good. Have a fun day today, buddy. I'll talk to you a little bit later, and we got some work to accomplish today and get together, but have a fun weekend, everybody. Just get yourself ready. This is it. This is the start of your week. Get it ready. And I suggest the first thing is you sit down, maybe right after this, and take a piece of paper and write down the system and see how close you get from memory.
Okay, everybody. Let's go out and make it a great day. Peace and blessings to you. We love you all. We're going to keep working. And remember, all these things that we're talking about, they will always be evolving. We always want to try to make it better, because we all want to get better. So make it a great day. Peace and blessings to you. Go out and touch a life. Help somebody change a career. City, state, county, country, and most of all, again, let's do something for this world that we live in. It's our responsibility to do that. So with that being said, this is Mark Stevens for our host, Joe Shute. Peace and blessings, everybody. Make it a great weekend, and we will see you back here on Monday on The Breakfast Club. Make it a great day, everybody.